In the NFC East, the Eagles led by Saquon Barkley, speaking of the Giants, 2 TD performance gutted out a tough win over the Saints. Philly outgained New Orleans 460-219, while Jalen Hurts threw for over 300 yards multiple times during the game. Sirianni made questionable decisions to go for it on 4th down despite being in field goal range. Here's Sirianni after the win.
I just want everyone to know, like, if the product on the field is not, like, if we make a mistake, a player makes a mistake, it's not on that player. It's always on me and me first. Nobody else. It's on me first.
There he is, Damien Woody in the building. We need another Super Bowl champ to join the show. Good to see you, sir. All warmed up on Get Up. I was watching you. I got a little company in studio, folks, so you know I'm happy. Woody, I'll get to you in a second. Shay, you're up first. What's the biggest headline for the Eagles after 3 games? Saquon being great, Hurts turnovers, or Sirianni's decision-making?
Well, we knew Saquon could be great, but to come in and be able to do what he's been able to do. And we saw, like, if you get him to the line of scrimmage, and that's what because he's so explosive, if you just get him to the line of scrimmage, hell, I thought he was at the nightclub because we was in the Giants backfield, he dancing before he gets to the line of scrimmage. And so he was like, there ain't really nothing I can do. But now he has a dominant offensive line that can just get him to the line of scrimmage. He can make people miss, and he can hit his head on the goalpost, as we saw yesterday from 65 yards out. He's been phenomenal. He's better than advertised because I think sometimes we forget just how good he was in his rookie season because he did have some blocking when he was Rookie of the Year. But now, with that home run speed, his ability to be able to, anywhere on the field, he can go the distance, Woody and Stephen A. He's been phenomenal. He's basically been the offense because Jalen Hurts is still turning the ball over at an alarming rate. That concerns me. The defensive line, this is the defense that I expected to see a lot of last year and to start the season this year. Yesterday, the offense and defensive line, they dominated the Saints. And we've had the Saints as one of the better teams in the NFL. They didn't look like it yesterday. But Saquon Barkley, 2-6, man, he's been phenomenal.
Yeah, listen, to be honest with you, OG, this is what I expected from Saquon. And I'm not even trying to say what the performance he's been putting up. I'm not even making light of it. I'm not saying it's, it's no big deal. Because I knew Saquon Barkley was going to do this in Philadelphia. Think about this, what he did with the Giants. He was the offense for the Giants. No one had to worry about anybody else with the Giants but Saquon Barkley. You bring him to the Philadelphia Eagles with all the weapons that the Philadelphia Eagles had. I knew Saquon Barkley was going to eat. I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts. Okay, I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts and the turnovers. Now, the one interception they threw yesterday, I think it was on the receiver more so than Jalen Hurts. But I will say this. I'm thinking big picture here with Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, going back to last season, has committed 20 turnovers. That's the most in the National Football League. And if we're going to have this conversation about the Philadelphia Eagles, about being one of the best teams in the NFC and ultimately trying to get to a Super Bowl, Jalen Hurts still has to play better. He has to make better decisions. I don't know what's going on with Jalen Hurts. Again, not talking about yesterday and that interception in the end zone, because I think that was more so the receiver's fault than Jalen Hurts. But I think if the Eagles if they're going to go where they want to go, the quarterback has to make better decisions. The quarterback has to play better. Saquon Barkley's going to get his because he's that dude. But I need Jalen Hurts. I need that quarterback. I need that man behind center to make better decisions and take care of the football.
D. Woody, I got to tell you something. Neither of y'all are wrong because I get where y'all are both coming from. I mean, Jalen Hurts has to play better. But when you say Jalen Hurts has to play better in order for the Eagles to get to where they need to go, you know why they have a chance to get to where they need to go? Because of Saquon Barkley, like Shannon Sharpe said. NFL's leading rusher. That's who Saquon Barkley is, okay? You're talking about second in the NFL with 404 yards from scrimmage, okay? You're talking about tied for the NFL league with 5 touchdowns. 5 touchdowns. Tied for the NFL league with 5 touchdowns with Alvin Kamara and Kyron Williams, okay? And then I'm thinking about him yesterday. 5 carries, 17 yards in the first half. Can't even get 4 yards per carry. Second half, 12 carries, 130 yards. 10.8 yards per carry along with 2 touchdowns. The Philadelphia Eagles, let's put it to y'all this way. Philadelphia Eagles right now is one of the undefeated teams in the National Football League if Saquon Barkley catches that pass on Monday night against Atlanta. If he catches that pass and converts that first down, game's over. All right? And Saquon Barkley and the Philadelphia Eagles are undefeated. All right? It's because this brother, he had that one drop. That's why they are where they are. This man is special. And we look at what he brings to the table. He can block. He can run in between the tackles. He's got the speed and the elusivity to go on the outside. He can sit up there and catch out of the backfield. He can do it all. And to have him in their offense, just think about what it's going to be when A.J. Brown gets back. When Devontae Smith obviously is 100% healthy. I got scared for him with that hit yesterday where he ended up getting concussed. So we wish him nothing but the best. And the Philadelphia Eagles, I got to give love because I called out Fangio the other day, Shannon. Well, that defense showed up against the Saints yesterday. The Saints came into the game with their starters scoring on 15 consecutive offensive possessions to start the NFL season. And these brothers couldn't get anything going until the fourth quarter. Fangio's defense showed up, and they reminded us all, when you pressure Derek Carr, things ain't the same. He ain't great when you apply that pressure. He's real good when he's sitting back in the pocket taking pictures, ordering food from Uber Eats or something like that. But when that brother feel that heat, it's a different Derek Carr that you see, and the Philadelphia Eagles reminded the football world of that yesterday.
We know guys like Saquon. Now, Saquon is a little bit more fast-twitch than Derrick Henry, so he can operate out of the zone read. But he's still an eye back. And so the question that I have, if you look at Jalen Hurts, it's kind of like a Lamar Jackson situation. They work better if the back is offset. Saquon, it can do dual. He could do the offset back like a zone read, or you can put him in the eye, let him dot the eye, and you can toss it to him or hand it to him. My question was, are they going to use him? Are they going to let him be in the eye sometimes where they can toss it to him, where they can hand it to him, and now he can pick his hole as opposed to being offset of the quarterback? And so that's the fine line. That's the balancing act, because I still need Jalen Hurts to be Jalen Hurts, and he works really well out of the zone read scheme. But in order for us to maximize these running backs, a Derrick Henry, a Saquon Barkley, Woody, you know this, they need to be in the I formation, and Baltimore's situation a little different because they got fullbacks. Put him in the I. But you have to be careful, because I don't totally want to take away from what Jalen Hurts is really good at by giving everything that Saquon Barkley needs. But I don't want to make sure I don't want to take anything away from Saquon, because I know he wants the ball in the I formation.
Yeah, listen, Saquon Barkley is a different type of running back from Derrick Henry. Obviously, stature aside, he's just more quick twitch, like you talked about. He's a guy that I think he can play from both eye, he can play from both offset. But I think the bigger picture on this run game, you got to get Jalen Hurts going. I think that's why Saquon Barkley fits in this offense so well, because he can be in the eye, he can be offset, and get Jalen Hurts going in that RPO run game. That to me sets everything up. Sets up success for him as far as the passing game concerned. So listen, Saquon Barkley has been fantastic. He's going to be a big part of this offense moving forward. We just need Jalen Hurts to protect the football. Yeah. If Jalen Hurts protects the football better, it just makes the Philadelphia Eagles that much harder to beat.
One thing, Stephen A., I just got to come back to you on one thing. You didn't have any problem with Nick Sirianni's play calling yesterday?
No, I'm not saying that. No. Look, listen, Nick Sirianni, there's a lot left to be desired about Nick Sirianni, especially some of these situational play calls that Nick Sirianni has been caught up in. And here's the problem I have. It's going to come back to bite you down the road when you're playing against really good teams in critical situations. But it's better to try to work through these things now. We're only in week 3. Yep. It's better to work through these things now than we get to week 17, or we're in the in the playoffs, and you're still making these stupid type of play calls as a head coach, and then it comes back to bite your team in the butt.
Well, I listen, first of all, you're absolutely right. I get where you're coming about Sirianni, but I think that the more profound points are about Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley, both negatively and positively. In the case of Hurts, 6 turnovers in the first 3 games of this season is not good. An NFL worst, 26 turnovers since the start of last season. That simply cannot continue. There's no way around that. We all know it, okay? But think about the Philadelphia Eagles, and you talk about the antithesis of the Dallas Cowboys. You got a Jeffrey Lurie, the owner, and Howie Roseman is GM. And what do? You go out there and you get a guy in Saquon Barkley who is a clear complement to the system, as well as the quarterback that you have in place. When all else fails, you can dip and dunk it to that brother Saquon Barkley. You can hand it to him out of the backfield. You can do a myriad of things with him that could make Jalen Hurts look good even when he doesn't deserve to. In the case of Jerry, you go out there and you pay Dak Prescott record numbers, and in the same breath, you compromise his ability to succeed because you don't have a defense that can get off the field, all right, that's going to enable you to be front runners. You don't have a running game to engage in play action to protect them. No backfield for him to hand the ball off to. And Dak Prescott, in order to save the day, has got to go out there and go about the business of trying to find CeeDee Lamb to come to the rescue along with himself. It's two extreme opposites, and it shows you the difference between the franchises right now.